Namaskar, good evening. You are watching Rajya Sabha television. I'm Smriti Rastogi with News Tonight. Let's begin the bulletin with the top headlines. Amid receding waters, more people return home in Kerala. Centre waives GST and customs duty on relief materials to the state till December 31st. Special session of the Assembly to discuss rehabilitation on August 30th. State government seeks 2,600 crore special package. Supreme Court questions Election Commission's notification, asserts no Nota option in Rajya Sabha elections, underlines that Nota is meant to be exercised only by individual voters in direct polls. Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad meets WhatsApp CEO Chris Daniels, asks company to appoint grievance officer in India to act speedily on complaints of fake messages. WhatsApp told to comply with Indian law and register corporate entity. Rahul Gandhi announces organizational changes in Congress. Ahmed Patel made treasurer. Motilal Vora, General Secretary in charge of administration. Anand Sharma to head the party's Foreign Affairs Department. And Indian shooters shine on the third day of the Asian Games in Jakarta. 16-year-old Saurabh Chaudhary wins gold in 10-meter air pistol event. Abhishek Verma takes bronze. Sanjeev Rajput bags silver in 50-meter rifle 3-position shooting. With 3 goals, India has 10 medals so far. And first, all the developments from the flood-hit Kerala. The centre on Tuesday released 600 crore rupees to flood-hit Kerala and decided to waive customs duty and GST on the relief material being imported for the affected people in the state. The announcement came following a meeting of the National Crisis Management Committee. Earlier today, Kerala sought a package of 2,600 crore rupees from the centre under the centrally sponsored schemes, including Manrega. This was decided in the meeting of the state cabinet. Nearly 11 lakh people, including 2.12 lakh women and 1 lakh children below 12 years of age, are housed in over 3,200 relief camps. Though the rains have eased in the past 2 days, vast swaths of lands in several districts remain submerged still. However, most of those marooned have been evacuated, and the state government and defence forces say rescue efforts will continue till the last person is brought to safety.
The Kerala government has sought a 2,600 crore rupees special package from the centre, even as the state struggles to find its feet. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan chaired a meeting of the state cabinet on Tuesday to take stock of the situation. Vijayan also said a special session of the state assembly has been convened on August 30th.
2,600 കോടി രൂപയുടെ പ്രത്യേക പാക്കേജാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ആവശ്യപ്പെടുന്നത്. ഇതോടൊപ്പം ഒരു മഹാപ്രളയം നമുക്ക് നേരിടേണ്ടി വന്ന സാഹചര്യത്തിൽ ദുരിതാശ്വാസം, പുനരധിവാസം, പുനർനിർമ്മാണം ഇവയെല്ലാം ചർച്ച ചെയ്യുന്നതിനായി ആഗസ്റ്റ് 30-ന് പ്രത്യേക നിയമസഭാ സമ്മേളനം വിളിച്ചു ചേർക്കാൻ ഗവർണറോട് ശുപാർശ ചെയ്യാൻ തീരുമാനിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്.
As the state drowned in unprecedented misery, Onam, the festival that brings together people of all religious faiths, castes and creed, has been washed away. Official celebrations have been cancelled. The money saved will now be spent on flood relief.
ഓണിലോട് വരണമെന്ന് ഒരു 10-15 ലോറിനകത്ത് വരും. ഈ പ്രാവശ്യം അങ്ങനെ ഇല്ല. എന്നുവെച്ചാൽ അത് ആ ഫസ്റ്റ് വന്നത് തന്നെ അത് വന്ന സാധനം തീർക്കാനാണ് നോക്കുന്നത്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് അതിന് പിന്നെ കുറവാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്.
കേരളം അനുഭവിച്ച ഏറ്റവും വലിയൊരു ദുരന്തത്തിന് ഞങ്ങൾക്കും അതിൽ പങ്കാളിയാവാൻ സാധിച്ചു. എൻ്റെ വീട്ടിലും വെള്ളം കയറുകയുണ്ടായി. അപ്പോൾ അതേപോലെ ഇതിനേക്കാളും വളരെ പരിതാപകരമായിരുന്നു മറ്റു ജില്ലകളിൽപ്പെട്ട ആൾക്കാർ. അതുകൊണ്ട് ആ നഷ്ടം നഷ്ടമാണെങ്കിലും ഞങ്ങൾക്കതിലൊരിക്കലും സങ്കടം.
ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ജീവിതമാർഗ്ഗമാണ് ഈ കച്ചവടം. അതിന് ഈ ഓണം പെരുന്നാൾ പ്രമാണിച്ച് മാക്സിമം സാധനങ്ങൾ ഇറക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. യാദൃശ്യമായിട്ടാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സംഭവം ജനത്തിലുണ്ടാകുന്ന സംഭവമാണ് ഒരു സംഭവം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നത്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ കട കംപ്ലീറ്റ് കാര്യമാക്കി ഇനി ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് എങ്ങനെ മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകുന്നത് ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയില്ല. ഇതിൽ നിന്ന് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഞങ്ങൾക്കൊരു സഹായം കിട്ടുന്നതാണ് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു സംഘടനകളുടെ അപേക്ഷ.
The devastating deluge that hit the state on August 8th has left 223 people dead so far, also forcing over 10 lakh out of their homes and into relief camps. With the waters now receding in most parts, road and rail services have resumed, but clearing houses of the debris washed up by surging flood water is a daunting task.
पूरा पानी है, भरा हुआ हम लोग का घर पूरा पानी है. हम लोग का बैठने को भी जगह नहीं है, इतना तक पानी है. हम लोग को कुछ खाने को मांगता है, पीने को मांगता है, बेड नहीं है, सब पूरा सब पानी में भर गया.
நான் 3 வருஷமா நான் இந்த இடத்துல தான் நான் வாழ்ந்துகிட்டு இருக்கேன். நான் 10-12,000 ரூபாய்க்குள்ள தையல் தொழிலாளி. நான் ரொம்ப கஷ்டப்பட்டு வாழ்றவன். என் பொம்பளை 2 காலும் முடியாதது. இருந்த வீடு அட்ரஸ் இல்லாமலே போயிடுச்சு. எங்களால் ஒன்றும் செய்ய முடியாது. முடிஞ்சிட்ட துணி கூட ஆளுக்கு கொடுத்து தான் நாங்கள் போட்டுருக்கோம். என் பொம்பளையால் ஆடாத படத்தில் விட்டுருக்கோம். ஒரு வாழருக்கு ஒரு வழியும் இல்லை. ஒன்றுமே எங்களால் செய்ய முடியாத சூழ்நிலை. என்னதான் செய்யணும் எதான் செய்யணும் சொல்லவே முடியாத ஒரு சூழ்நிலையில்.
The biggest challenge in distributing the food materials and other relief items is to deliver the items to the people who are in far-flung areas but surrounded with water. The army jawans are fulfilling this gap with their endeavor, and successfully they have delivered goods to the people who are in these villages. It will be challenge coming ahead that how to keep this village clean after water recedes.
Efforts are on to resume communication services and power and water supply. Distribution of relief material has also been stepped up as the people pick up the pieces of their lives and try to put it back together. Local collectives have been constituted to help residents clean up their homes and disinfect water sources. Medical teams have also begun fanning out across the districts. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And for more on this, we'll go across to Akhilesh Suman, our correspondent, who is joining us from Chenganur. Akhilesh, with the water level in the state receding, now relief and rescue work seems to be a big challenge for the authorities. Chenganur was among the worst affected areas. What is the ground situation?
Actually, Smriti, you know that relief has been almost complete and rescue also has been complete. You know that relief and rescue has been basically being operated by the central agencies, especially by the Army, Air Force and also the Navy, and also NDRF teams were here. And what I have got from these agencies that today that they have understood that rescue operations has almost been complete. There is no news that anyone is stranded in any of the villages or anyone inside stranded inside the water. Whoever is there inside the water, they are willingly there and they don't want to leave their houses because they tell that yes, this is my all property is inside this house, so we cannot. I also talked to some of them who were stranded in the water, and they told that I did not go and we will not go because now water is receding, and we decided not to go because every belonging of ours is inside this house. So this is lifetime property. So given this fact, I think rescue operation is almost complete practically. Some sporadic maybe if they get some information, they will go and rescue the persons or person involved. Other thing that relief operation that is being done by the central agencies with cooperation with the state agency, that has also come to a level playing field, and I think that by tomorrow it will be complete and a state agency will take care of the relief operations also. Now the whole issue is coming to the post-flood, post-water receding situation.
Absolutely.
And in that situation, state agency need much help from the specialized agency, either from the center or from any other state, and they need equipment,
Absolutely,
they need medicines, and they need disinfectants, mosquito coils. These type of things are required now at this point of time.
One more thing, Akhilesh, availability of clean drinking water and the spread of epidemic is something which is a big challenge for the government. Now, how prepared are the authorities there on tackling the situation on that front?
Yeah, that's really a challenge, because safe drinking water is a challenge. But in the relief operations, they are distributing water bottles, and they are trying to distribute water bottles as much as possible. I saw that there are a good number of water bottles are being distributed. But in coming days, I think that they will also ensure in those far-flung areas, especially where there is no fresh water available, they will keep distributing these water bottles. And also, I think water tanks will also be moved to these areas, and also they will also be required inside the towns also to some extent. But what I feel that preparedness is there. State government is prepared for meeting all the challenges.
Absolutely.
And center is also providing all necessary help that is required at this point of time, Smriti.
And Akhilesh, UAE has offered financial assistance to Kerala. Has any other country has offered any kind of assistance, and what is India's stand on this?
Yeah, really, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also thanked UAE government for extending such type of assistance. And when Russian President Putin also conveyed the message that Russia is with the people of Kerala in this point of time. But as far as assistance is concerned, India is equipped enough, and India has sufficient finance available in its chest that it doesn't require any monetary help from any other country. So this is the position what I am getting through my sources inside the government, that yes, offer is there, offer is the duty, and offer is the gesture of any friendly government. But India is in a position to meet out this challenge on itself. And so the message has been conveyed to all the missions abroad, all the Indian missions abroad, that India is not going to accept any monetary assistance in this point of time. India is efficient enough to tackle this type of situation on its own. Smriti.
Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for joining us and giving us all the ground zero situation on what exactly is transpiring in Kerala. Now, the water levels have receded in some areas in Kerala, prompting some people in relief camps to return home. But what they are now faced with is the mammoth task of rebuilding their lives. Most people have lost their homes. Those whose homes remain have lost valuables, including important documents.
The Kerala government is asking people in relief camps to stay away from their homes until drinking water, gas pipelines and electricity wirings are made safe. However, with rainwater receding in some areas, people have started re-entering their homes. Many have found electrical appliances and furniture ruined. Thick layers of sludge and slime are covering the houses. Incidents of snake bites have also been reported from Ernakulam and Thrissur districts. People have been advised to take precautions to avoid such dangers. The first would be not to drive into flood-affected areas. Even if water has receded in one area, another one may not be safe. Taking a vehicle in flood-ravaged areas can endanger lives. If water had entered your home, it is crucial to disinfect the place. Flood water contains sewage and pathogens that can cause waterborne diseases. Maintain hygienic and sanitary precautions until the cleanup is complete. Ensure electrical safety with the help of electricians before switching on the main switches or household appliances. Check for gas leaks. Avoid lighting matches and using electric appliances unless you are sure there is no fire hazard in flood-affected residences and facilities. The government has also issued a caution on using generators. Watch out for hidden reptiles, in particular snakes, inside homes or shelves, storage spaces, etc. In areas where the water is knee-deep, add bleaching powder or salt to it. It works as an effective disinfectant and also prevents bacterial diseases from getting transmitted. You should be especially careful if you have open wounds. They could get infected when exposed to flood waters. After cleaning, try and cover these wounds with a waterproof bandage. Also take care to not touch electrical equipment if your hands or clothes are wet or if you are standing in water. If you must walk through, try to avoid gushing water. It is also a good idea to carry a stick to check the path ahead of you for bumps and holes. Doctors suggest it is important that people consume freshly cooked food that's been heated to boiling point. Refrigerated food must be avoided as much as possible. Sanitize your hands before and after cooking. For those whose food stock is running low, take a liter of boiled water and add 5 to 6 spoons of sugar and 1 spoon of salt. Drinking this at regular intervals will help in ensuring you are hydrated. For those with access to medicines, stock up on ORS packets to prevent diarrhea and antiemetic drugs to prevent vomiting. If there is no or little access to drinking water, people can place containers on their terrace to collect rainwater. This can then be boiled and filtered for use. Although boiling water and then filtering it is more effective, in cases where people have no access to gas or heating mechanisms, filtering water using the folds of a cotton sari is advisable. This will help reduce the chance of cholera and other waterborne diseases. The State Health Department has constituted ground-level guiding and supervising teams, each with 3 to 5 members, including accredited social health activist worker, Arogya Sena member, elected ward member, NGO volunteer and a mandatory health staff. Each team is responsible for supervising activity in 100 houses and can subdivide responsibility among themselves. However, this is going to take few days or even weeks. For people looking to return home and rebuild their lives, the immediate need is for ready-to-eat cooked food, clothes and an army of electricians, plumbers and carpenters. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now the news from Karnataka, where the flood-hit Kodagu town is limping back to normalcy. Drones are being used to search for missing people. Many organizations and political parties have dispatched relief materials to Kodagu. State Tourism Minister has informed that drinking water, food items and medicines are being provided at 41 relief camps. Meanwhile, Mandikeri-Mangaluru highway has totally collapsed due to heavy rains and landslides. On to some more news. Satyapal Malik was today appointed as the governor of Jammu and Kashmir. He was earlier the governor of Bihar. Satyapal Malik will replace N.N. Vohra, who had completed 10 years in June. In other appointments, BJP leader from Uttar Pradesh, Lalji Tandon, will be the new governor of Bihar, replacing Malik. Former Bihar minister Satyadev Narayan Arya is the governor of Haryana, while Baby Rani Maurya will take charge as the governor of Uttarakhand. Maurya was formerly BJP's Uttar Pradesh state secretary. Meghalaya's governor Ganga Prasad has been transferred to Sikkim. Tripura governor Tathagat Roy has been given the charge of Meghalaya. Haryana Governor Kaptan Singh Solanki will be the governor of Tripura. A communique released by the Rashtrapati Bhavan said the new appointments will take effect from the dates the incumbents assume charge of their respective offices. The Supreme Court on Tuesday quashed the Election Commission notification introducing the none of the above option in the Rajya Sabha elections. A bench headed by Chief Justice Deepak Mishra said the Nota option was meant only for direct elections and not polls held by the system of proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote. It said Nota may serve as an auxiliary in the direct elections, but in respect of the election to the Council of States, it would not only undermine the purity of democracy, but also serve the Satan of defection and corruption. On to some more developments. State Councillor and Defence Minister of China, General Y. Fenghe, called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday. Prime Minister Modi appreciated the increased momentum of high-level contacts between India and China in all spheres, including in the areas of defence and military exchanges. He termed the India-China relations as a factor of stability in the world. He said, The maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border areas is indicative of the sensitivity and maturity with which India and China handle their differences, not allowing them to become disputes. The Prime Minister also warmly recalled his recent meetings with Chinese President Xi Jinping in Wuhan, Qingdao and Johannesburg. And Congress President Rahul Gandhi on Tuesday appointed Ahmed Patel as the party's treasurer in place of Motilal Vora, who will now be AICC General Secretary Administration, which is a newly created post. Patel, who was the political secretary of former party chief Sonia Gandhi, has earlier served the post of treasurer. Rahul appointed former Union Minister Anand Sharma as the chairperson of the party's Foreign Affairs Department, replacing Karan Singh. Former Speaker Meera Kumar has been made a permanent invite to the Congress Working Committee, the highest decision-making body of the party. Luisino Falerio has been appointed as the AICC General Secretary in charge of northeastern states, excluding Assam. And for more on this, we'll go across to Aditi Padnis, political editor, Business Standard. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming to our show. Ma'am, what are the major takeaways of these changes?
Well, there was a lot of speculation and apprehension once Rahul Gandhi took over as president of the party that the organic link between the old Congress and the new Congress would be broken. By appointing the people to the jobs that he has appointed today, he has clearly indicated that the old Congress and the new Congress, there's no difference between the two. For instance, Mr. Patel, Ahmed Patel, who has served a number of terms as MP, both in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, was the treasurer of the party earlier from 1996 to 2000, and he has been a very, very important, vital part of the Congress. If you recall, in the Tirupati session of the Congress held in the early 90s, which was elections held in the Congress after a long interim, he got the third highest votes in that election. So he is well known, he is influential and powerful, and there have been absolutely no corruption cases against him, barring one or two charges that were made which could never be proved. So he has a very good connection with the people who, in order to raise money, particularly in the context of the fact that the Congress is hardly in power anywhere in India, and running the party does require money, and it will be incumbent upon him to raise the money. As for the others, well, Meera Kumar was the Congress's candidate for presidentship, so obviously she is a very important face in the Congress, and that's why she's been made permanent invitee. We do know that Anand Sharma was former foreign minister, and Mr. Karan Singh is now getting on in age. So perhaps in order to give new dynamism to the Foreign Affairs cell, he has been appointed to that job. But I think by far the most important appointment is that of Ahmed Patel. The overall message is that there is a connect between Sonia Gandhi's Congress and Rahul Gandhi's Congress, and it's possible that Ahmed Patel may get a deputy. There's no post in the past of deputy treasurer, but in order to show the younger people how to raise money and how to keep accounts and so on, it's possible that another person may be appointed later.
And these new appointments come a month after Rahul reconstituted the Congress Working Committee. What does it say about the shape of the team, Rahul, in the run-up to the 2019 Lok Sabha elections?
These are important appointments, but they're not the ultimate cutting-edge appointments. They're important because obviously you can't run a party without a treasurer, and Mr. Vora was getting on. But from the point of view of the party organization, these are they're not crucial key appointments. The induction of Meera Kumar as a permanent invitee into the CWC, for instance, means that the Dalit face of the Congress continues to be important and significant for the party. So, but it's also that there'll be somebody whom she's somebody whom a possible alliance partner like the Bahujan Samaj Party's Mayawati will not see as a threat. So there are many layers to this, but we need to wait to see more such appointments and to see whether Rahul's Congress is going to be more represented in the organization.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us and helping us understand this overall development better. Now, moving on to some other news, the government has asked WhatsApp to set up a local corporate entity in India. The centre has also directed WhatsApp to trace the origin of fake messages circulated through its platform and appoint a grievance officer. Information and Technology Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said the messaging app needs to find solutions to deal with sinister developments like mob lynching. Prasad said this after his meeting with WhatsApp CEO Chris Daniels on Tuesday. The government has also made it clear that WhatsApp could face abetment charges in case action is not taken to tackle circulation of the fake messages. The IT minister said that the company has assured that it is working towards complying with these points.
जल्दी ही अपनी एंटिटी को वो स्थापित करने जा रहे हैं। उन्होंने हमें बताया है कि लॉ इन्फोर्समेंट के साथ उनकी ट्रेनिंग होने जा रही है उनके लोगों की, और वो एजुकेशन का भी बहुत काम करने वाले हैं। हमारी ओर से उनको एक सलाह दी गई है कि आप भारतवर्ष में मैसिव एजुकेशन प्रिंट, टेलीविजन, रेडियो पर करिए कि अगर किसी भी व्हाट्सएप मैसेज में आपको कोई बहुत ही गंदा या आतंकवाद को बढ़ावा देने वाला या अपराध को बढ़ावा देने वाला मैसेज दिखाई पड़े, आप तुरंत हमें बताइए ताकि हम कार्रवाई कर सकें।
And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu met with the students of Jawaharlal Nehru University. Interacting with the students, the Vice President asked them to take active part in the process of nation building. Vice President said that with over 65% of the population below the age of 35, it was important for India to realize its demographic dividend to become an economic superpower.
Speak in mother tongue only at home. This is my advice. I have taken it as a mission. Now I am campaigning across the country. Because of the advent of the colonial mindset that has kept in our minds, we have developed a weakness for English. Nothing wrong in learning English. You must learn as many languages as possible, but should never forget mother tongue. भाषा और भावना एक साथ चलता है.
And now getting you all the latest news from the Asian Games. Saurabh Chaudhary became the youngest Indian shooter to win an Asian Games gold medal after he finished on top in the 10-meter air pistol finals. The 16-year-old Chaudhary shot a Games record score of 240.7 to clinch the gold, while another Indian shooter, Abhishek Verma, settled for a bronze in the same event. And in hockey, Indian women team beat Kazakhstan 21-0 in their pool match to clinch their second consecutive win. Earlier, they beat Indonesia 8-0 in their opening game. In wrestling, Divya Kakran added the first bronze to India's wrestling tally. She defeated Taiwan's Chen Wengling in the third-place play-off bout in the women's 68 kilograms freestyle event. In the men's 50 meters rifle 3 positions event, Sanjeev Rajput won a silver. Rajput shot 452.7 to claim the silver medal, while China's Hu Zhicheng won gold medal with a score of 453.3. Japan's Matsumoto bagged the bronze with 441.4. India also clinched a maiden Asian Games medal in Sepak Takraw despite losing to defending champion Thailand. The Indian side lost to Thailand 0-2. Indian men's and women's kabaddi teams secured emphatic wins against their respective opponents to qualify for the semi-finals. The men's team defeated Thailand 49-30 in their fourth and the final Group A match, while women's team entered the semis after winning all their Group A matches. And that's all we have for you in this edition of News Tonight. For more news and updates, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television. Namaskar.